Bro Tap!
Brotep
is uniquely trained and highly motivated. A specialist without equal, immune to any countermeasures. There is no secret he cannot extract, no security he cannot breach, no person he cannot become. He has most likely anticipated this very conversation and is waiting to strike in whatever direction we move.
I am Ripper, Tearer, Slasher, Gouger. I am the teeth in the darkness, the talons in the night. Mine is strength and lust and power. I am
Bro Tap!
This stream won't be very long. Apparently people are doing 2-minute streams now. So to follow up and make it a tradition, mine won't be as long as it usually is, especially since, I can't wait to go watch Denise's stream. The topic that I wanted to discuss here, it's less of a topic and more of me waving my finger at Dominican Renaissance. I stopped by the couple of streams he managed to put up, what he managed to salvage from his uploads, right? And he was discussing things with some of his blind, deaf, and dumb followers. And what I gleaned from those conversations were, he doesn't get it. He does not understand why what he did was wrong. Yeah, see that? You guys heard what was going on out there? That can get my stream pulled off. If the algorithm picks up the lyrics from the copyrighted music that just passed by my window out there, right? I can get the stream pulled down. And the thing is, I don't blame the companies. I don't blame the companies, and I certainly don't blame the artists. Sometimes they're one and the same nowadays. Artists are getting more and more of their rights, to their stuff. And it's been a thing where artists have been ripped off for so long, right? They've been ripped off for so long, and they're finally, after a lot of fighting, going in and out of court, a lot of maneuvering, they finally get what is owed to them, right? And then their music gets stolen by you, Domran. You know what I mean? Look, you can't blame them for protecting their stuff. 4 streams ago, probably a little bit more than that, but about four streams ago, Domran, you were browbeating, you and a couple of friends were browbeating African Americans for their methods of protests. You were saying that they're destroying private property, right? They're not really out there protesting, right? They're stealing TVs from Target. They're stealing amplifiers and music equipment and iPhones and laptops from Walmart, correct? Those things, I've worked in retail before. Those things, they have a markup. So when you pay for, let's say you get a Magnavox, or do they still make that? Let's say you get a Sony flat screen TV. Say you get a Sony flat screen TV. Do you know how much the actual cost of that flat screen is? It's probably like $3 or $4. So when you steal it, you know what? Because what you were going to pay for it, the $300, $600 you were going to pay for it, that was just a fucking markup anyway. The actual worth is like $3 or $4. It costs like $3 or $4 to put together at that factory. All right. So that's why a lot of times Target, Walmart, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. They probably paid, I don't know what they paid for it, but they have their insurance covering that stuff. So when, some kid who never really had anything goes up in there and steals a TV, which is wrong, theft is theft, it's not a big deal for them. But let's compare, let's do a comparative side by side. between that, the kid who never had nothing, and all right, I'm gonna get a pair of sneakers. I see everyone running into Target. I'm gonna get a pair of sneakers. I'm gonna get some T-shirts. I'm gonna get a TV and an iPhone. Right. So he goes in and does all that stuff. Due to the markup, he stole a few thousand dollars worth of not equipment, but products, right? But that's, for me, who's not an economist, I don't have the proper verbiage for it, so I'll just call it phantom money. That's phantom money. It's all markup money. It's all markup money. The sneakers cost like pennies to make by some slaves in Indonesia or something. But you on the other hand, Domren, you stealing the music, you're stealing directly from an artist. The artist spent, Lord knows, first of all, they're born with talent that you don't have. Let's start with that. They're born with talent you don't have, which means their parents and genetics were involved. So already, we're dealing with something that's over your pay grade, right? And then, music. Give me a second. What I'm actually doing here is one of my favorite artists. I can't get in touch with him. His Facebook is down. One of my favorite artists is just this kid. I think he's probably like 13, 14. And he's James Dalby. I think he's from the UK or something like that, right? And I can't get in touch with him. I wanted to, because I talked to him, like in the chat section of one of his music videos, a few years ago, and I was like, hey, your music's fire. You should have a record deal. Da 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 da. He's like, thank you. I've been working so hard, but then he kind of disappeared. I hope nothing happened to him. I hope nothing happened to him, because around that time it was like during the Brexit thing, and then there was some unrest around Europe, little flare-ups here and there. So I hope nothing happened to him. But let me see. Let's get back to what I'm saying here. First of all, they're born with talent. Okay, so that's way over your head to begin with, right? Then they have to cultivate that talent. They have to cultivate that talent. Look at James. If you feel some type of way and you want to copyright strike this video, like if the video makes any money and you not copyright strike and you want to copyright claim to it so that the money goes to you, I'm fine with that, because I can't get in contact with you to share your video with permission. So I know I'm treading on thin ice by doing it, but I have to do it to make a point, right? So go ahead and do that if you see the video and you feel like you need to do a copyright claim. Yeah, I'm not worried about them sirens. I already flushed all the coke down the toilet.
Hello.
Hey, look at my man's hands. I need you to look at my man's hands.
Oh, I don't quite know how to be with you. You say you are every time I'm not looking for you. And there she is, I can't take my eyes away. You on my mind every second I'm looking. So don't drift away. So I need you to save me. Yeah, so get to it. I don't need you to listen to me. I need your care. Every second you're wasting from me. 1 minute there, I can see your eyes.
Just to pause it right here. Normally, the singer songwriters that I get involved with, and in various projects, etc. They don't. The reason why I said look at my man's hands, it's not very rare, but it's not common. It's not common that they would put all these sorts of what do you call them, chord transitions in the same parts of the song where they have to sing where they have to sing the verses, because it's to do those things simultaneously. It takes a lot of practice, and your brain almost has to be split into two parts. It already is split into two parts called hemispheres, but the your consciousness has to almost be split into two parts. Okay, and the other thing is the way the guitar's positioned. It's very hard as a singer myself, using that term loosely. It's very hard to sing with something braced up or leaning on your diaphragm. So for this guy to be singing while doing the chord transitions, that's a brain problem. That's a brain puzzle. And 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 he's singing with something braced tightly against his diaphragm, right? And to keep up with all of that, and no voice shaking, no guitar notes lagging.
So for me, so get right here. Every second you're wasting from me. Oh, yeah. I hope she knows how much my mind is moving. 'Cause it's all on you. Every second I'm looking for you. And no one's.
And you guys get the point. Bonus points, James, for the stormtrooper back there, fellow geek. Hope you guys got the point of that, or rather, I think you guys already knew what I was talking about. I guess the person I wanted to get for them to get the point is Domren. So imagine this guy puts out an album, right? He's born with talent, cultivated that talent into skill. Then he spends Lord knows how much money. Do you not look at the studio, the type of studio that James would have to go to in order to get his song produced? Unless James takes out a mortgage on his house and turns either a shed or his garage or his basement into this, right? So he would spend like maybe $250,000 to do all this, right? If he doesn't do that, he has to go to somebody who did pay $250,000 to do this, and he would have to pay that person something like $100 an hour. And to produce the song you just heard that he produced in his bedroom, to produce it at a quality that can play on the radio, he would have to be in the studio for Lord knows how many hours, because those things take a lot of. There's a lot of takes he would have to do, right? Because it has to be perfect. So the sound engineer would be like, look, at this second right here on the song, your voice shook a little bit. Most people can't hear it, but by law of averages, if this plays every day on the radio, somebody's going to hear it, and that's not a good look. So he has to do the, retake. And for that one song, he may have to spend maybe 10 grand if he wants it perfect. If he doesn't want it perfect, and there's no chance of it playing on, the Billboard Top 100 or whatever, if he just wants some garbage produced thing, because he didn't let the engineer do their thing, he's like, no, I ran out of money. You can't. If he wants to do that, then maybe he spends $1,000. But if he wants it done properly, which happens to be the case for the songs that you used, Domren, the songs that you used were done properly, because I imagine that you got them from either on iTunes, Spotify, etc. Right? Professional songs using anime, that that thing or the other. Tens of thousands of dollars were spent to produce those songs, and then you stole them. How did you steal them? You used them without permission for a video that's potentially going to get monetized. And you were sitting here waving your finger in black people's faces for some teenager getting a flat screen TV that's marked up at $600, but actually costs about $10, $20 to make at the factory. Do you get the perspective now? You get the perspective? Probably you don't, because there's a cognitive dissonance in most of you that you hardly ever get anything if it favors or is it looks upon black people favorably. Anyhow, that's been my video, right? So I just want to touch upon this because it really bothered me that I went onto Domren's page, to see what's going on, and he was having conversations with people where he doesn't get how much he stole by uploading some artists' hard work. That's actual money. Some artists' hard work, their talent, time cultivating skill, their studio time, their performance. You stole all of that. That's why your stream got taken down, Domren. Okay, and I wanted to wave my finger in your face, but I'm not really doing that. I just wanted to explain that to you, Domren. You will see this video because you keep tabs on who is keeping tabs on you. So when you watch this video, don't take it personally. It's just that you didn't seem to get it. And when you said in one of your replies, you said no shit's given. Okay, you're not being edgy. You're not being edgy. No shit's given. Right? You're not being edgy. Look, when you're being hateful, when you come on these streams and you're being hateful, right? You're not being based. You're biased. You're not being honest. You're rude. Okay? You're not being a realist. You're just insufferable. That's what's going on. So when you're like, someone asked you, yo, it got pulled down for a copyright strike, and you were like, yeah, I used copyrighted music, and they took it down, and they were like, you knew. I think Pocho was on there. Pocho's like, you knew it was copyrighted music, and yet you put it up there. And then Domren is like, yeah, no shit's given. Dom, you're not being edgy. Look, if you were the type who was like, against the system, fight the power, but you're not. You're not. Because when black people do it, you say that we're whiners, we're troublemakers, and we're unruly. Those are the things you call us. 1 second. Those are the things you call us when we have that same attitude towards protesting, let's say, police brutality. But when it's you being sanctioned for doing something literally illegal and which steals from other people, then you're like, no shit's given. Like you're being some sort of rebel. You're not being a rebel. You're breaking the arms of artists who spent their lives building their craft, cultivating their talent into skill, and you're ripping them off. That's the nature of what it is. When you say no shit's given, then all that is you admitting, yeah, I don't care about these people. I stole from them, and what? You can have that position if you want, but that position is diametrically opposed to, oh, why are these black people stealing from a store? All right, you're being a hypocrite. You're being a hypocrite. You stole for doing what you did right there. You stole more. You stole more from someone than a kid who's stealing sneakers from Target. Literally. The sneakers cost cents, like 20, 30 cents by some slave in Southeast Asia, in a Southeast Asian factory, right? To make you you stole hard work, thousands of thousands of dollars worth of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears from an artist. From an artist. The problem that we have now with the media and it's not really cognitive dissonance. What's the word I'm looking for here? The lack of perspective. Let's just call it that. The lack of perspective. The problem that we're suffering here is a lack of perspective, where the media will place that kid who stole a pair of sneakers from Target. Look at these criminals. Ah, ah. But they won't put on TV. And you stole much more valuable things, and your act is much worse. But it's the black kid they put on TV. So that's been my broadcast. Ending now. You guys need to go over because I'm about to head to Denise's broadcast right now. You guys head on over to let me get the Latin splaining with. Hold on one second. Let me get her full channel name now. Latin splaining with Denise Gonzalez. Oh, that was easy. Latin splaining with Denise Gonzalez. Right. Go on over there. Well, she'll be chopping it up about some stuff, and I hope to see you. All right.